Okay, I'm recording,
I'm good.
Alan. Are you recording?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm recording.
Do I need to record?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Are We Podcasting Yet? A kind of podcast that Alan and I decided to do.
I'm actually super excited to introduce our guest today. His name is Christopher Ballinger. He is a musician and a magician. He's been a showrunner, show producer, show writer, content creator for YouTube, as well as just one of my good buddies from college. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Christopher Ballinger. I imagine there's an audience clapping right now.
Yeah, I was saying thank you to your applaud right there. That was really good. Alan is an audience of one.
I am.
An audience? Is that
a single audience?
Oh, man, that's a new word already. Chris, I'm already impressed.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
audience.
just make things up as I go. So
Wait, no, we need confirmation. Chris, is audience a real word? Because I am now very confused.
I have no idea. But if it isn't, I'm copywriting it immediately.
Boom, taken care of. So Justin, Chris was he was a really good friend of mine back in college. And he was kind of like one of my mentors, I would say. We were both in the theater department. And he actually was the first person to get me excited about magic because he was the first magician that I got to know and become friends with. And he taught me a couple of tricks. And then Justin knows now that I've become a huge fan of magic.
That's awesome.
Alan's always trying to impress us with his magic skills.
How often does he succeed?
No, it's pretty rare.
Shouldn't bring that up.
No.
Yeah.
But everybody knows. I think we've broadcasted on regional television before how bad you are at magic, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of people are aware of your failures.
It says nothing about you, Chris, and your abilities to teach magic. I just want to point that out.
I kind of want you to rescind the mentor comment that you made earlier. We didn't know each other.
He was just an acquaintance.
Just a guy in college.
So you guys went to college together. Chris, what was Alan like in college?
Oh God.
Alan was like a go-getter. Like he was like excited about everything. It felt like ready to help and to be super helpful. And I think that would be my best description of him. Just like super, super ready to help people.
Oh man, that's been beaten out of him since then, Chris.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, life has taken its toll.
I don't help anyone. I won't, even if they ask me, I won't help them. Like if someone's on the street, they're like, "I need help," I'm going the other way. I'm like, I helped people already.
What did that last year of college do to you?
You know what? You weren't around to.
I wasn't there. I was such a good influence.
It's cool, Chris, because magic became something that I got to work with and get up close and personal with when Justin and I started hosting Asia's Got Talent. And so because of your introduction that you gave me into magic, like I really got to see some really, really cool things through our show. And it was pretty incredible.
Well, that's really nice of you to say. That's awesome.
Just for people who maybe haven't dabbled or gotten started in magic, I wanted to ask you to talk about why you did get deep into magic. And then I want to talk about the Magic Castle because
I got started young. Like I was like 3 when I got my first little plastic magic trick. And it just kind of stuck, and it was something that I could do that people liked. And I got really into books and learning magic through books and learning sleight of hand. And and then I found out I could make a little money doing it. So I did like kids' birthday parties, and during college, I think right before we met, I stopped doing this, but I used to go out on the streets of Pasadena and do street magic to earn money to get a meal.
Wow.
So like that was how I got my spending money in college was doing street magic and gigs and stuff. So yeah, it's been a passion of mine for a really long time. I don't do it as much anymore, but
really?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've got like a million other projects going. So I just do it for fun. I recently started showing my kids are kind of old enough to like understand it now. So I'm showing them stuff, and then I'll do stuff on like Twitch or Instagram or something like that. Just a little trick here or there, but never like a formal show anymore.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, I do. I do miss it. I love what I'm doing though. So it's not like I don't know. It would take me away from my family more to be doing it. So I'm happy to be where I'm at. But there was a time where I was inventing magic tricks and selling them on the magic market.
Really?
Yeah, I invented probably like 10 tricks that got distributed. One of them was like super bestseller, which was really cool. And now people can't get them unless they like order them illegally through some website that sells things illegally.
It's interesting that there's this whole like
Black
magic
market.
kind of economy,
Yeah,
magic skills economy buzzing around. I never knew about this.
It's not a big economy, but it's there.
Yeah. So are there any super famous magicians that have used your tricks?
I don't know.
Okay.
I never consulted for anyone. I've worked with some super famous magicians. I used to run a retail magic website, and as well as
I didn't even know that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know.
I did that like right out of college. I worked for a show called Bones at Fox Studios. And while I was there, I helped an old boss of mine who I used to work in his like brick and mortar magic shop, develop an online magic shop that had like demos of the tricks in without any flashy cuts, without anything, because it was really hard to tell what a magic trick was when you bought it. So you'd go onto like a website and you'd read a description. It was like, it will make things fly and all this stuff. And a ball of flame will appear in the air, and then you get it and it's like a little piece of wire that they mailed to you, and you're like, what is this? And it doesn't look good and it's terrible. So to counteract that, what we did is I shot I think there's like 2,000 videos online of me doing tricks. So we'd get a trick, I'd learn it. If I didn't already know it, then I would perform it for the camera without any cuts, and then we'd post it. And at first my boss wanted it to be like to develop a flash player that would play on the website. And at the time, YouTube was this like new thing. And I was like, let's just put them on YouTube and you can embed it into the HTML code. And so we did that, and we ended up like something like 40% of our traffic was coming through YouTube later on. And we were spending all this money on ad buys for Google AdWords, but the YouTube thing was like this free advertisement, and it really helped propel the company.
Was that your transition into YouTube? Like, actually, was that how?
Kind of. My transition was I did a sketch comedy group in college. I think you were in one of the sketches.
I remember the comedy group. I was never part of the troupe, but I definitely remember your performances. I saw you guys a lot.
Yeah. So I thought we put you in a sketch at some point.
I was a go-getter, so if someone asked me to, I was ready to help.
Yeah, I can't imagine we didn't. But yeah, that was my first experience of YouTube and trying to get noticed through that. But that was like back in the day when you could, if you got like 6 likes, you'd be on the homepage under comedy.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was like way back in the day. And then I really got into it when I was working at the Magic website.
Okay, actually, I have an interesting question. Justin, you know how there's this community of online magic, right? Where people are using digital effects. Like, I can't think of some of the people's names, but I know that like on Instagram and on Vine at first, people did these magic tricks that were kind of part magic manipulation and part digital manipulation. Chris, how do you feel about that? Because it's actually like a whole new trajectory maybe of magic or something.
It's a different art form. It's not sleight of hand, but sleight of hand can be used to help it. You know what I mean? It's like I see it kind of as like using CGI in movies. It works best if you use some practical elements as well. I think personally, but it's like a different thing. It's a different, you don't have the model making shops the same way you did. You don't have the stop motion animation the way you did, but it still gets the job done. And it's a completely different kind of movie. You watch a movie now, it's a different kind of movie than it was back before that stuff existed.
Well, actually, that is totally true. Even just in our own time in the industry, it's changed so dramatically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From magic into YouTube, I know that you worked with your sister some, and you worked on a show with her as well. And then now your whole family is represented on YouTube, which I think is amazing.
Yeah,
and killing it, from what I hear.
Yeah. What is it? 1.47 million subscribers, Mr. Ballinger?
Something like that. I have some plaque that says I passed 1 million, and then after that I stopped counting. It was really exciting getting to 1 million, and now I'm like, okay, I can't get wrapped up in this too much, because you can get really wrapped up in the numbers.
Sure.
And like
Oh, I
then
bet.
I feel like that's where a lot of the YouTube burnout that's happened recently is from. It's just getting caught up in the algorithm and the numbers, and like chasing views, chasing, something that isn't fun. If it's not fun, it's hard for it to be fulfilling
So
if you're just chasing numbers.
YouTube burnout just being YouTubers that are just
Yeah, a
focusing
lot of
too much on every single point to fill in the algorithm.
Yeah, a lot of YouTubers recently, I think in the last like 2-3 years, have posted these videos of just like, I'm burnt out, can't keep up with this, I can't do this anymore, I need to focus on my mental health, all that kind of stuff. And I think there are a lot of things that can contribute to that, but I think one of the things that happens is there is a rush that happens when like a video goes viral, or you're successful in the numbers. And then if you start chasing that too much, then you lose the heart of what it is that you're doing, and you become almost a slave to the algorithm, as opposed to like learning how to use the YouTube like suggested algorithm to your advantage. And it just it can really burn you out. So I've personally kind of taken a step back from that, and I'm producing stuff that like I'm just passionate about, I have fun making, and it takes some of the stress off of like, I've got to put this kind of content out this many times a week, and all of that.
I actually didn't even know that YouTube burnout was becoming a thing, but I feel like it totally touches on my own personal frustration sometimes with social media. And Justin, I know I talked to you about this quite a bit. Justin's so funny. He always has to like crack a whip to get me to do my social media content, because I'm so bad at it.
Alan doesn't fucking do anything. He just doesn't. He doesn't. And then he complains when he's asked by a TV production to post. He's like, why do we have to post all the time? They want us to post. I'm like, yeah, man, it's our job.
Alan, you need like a cardboard cutout of me in your apartment, and then you'll be more helpful again. And you'll just always post for
just to remind me of how helpful I can be.
Yeah, Chris, if you as the social media superstar, if you could just remind Alan that this is a thing that he needs to do consistently, at some level.
I might get Alan burnout then if I have to call Alan every 5 minutes to remind him to post.
Oh,
well, then we can bond over Alan burnout.
Hey guys, imagine how hard it is to be Alan with Alan burnout. Okay, it's tough. So I think it's the feeling of needing to constantly post to keep things updated, and content being produced so rapidly these days, and that people are used to having constant updates. And I get so overwhelmed by it. I just don't want to do it.
We got to keep it fun. Find a way to make it your own, make it fun. I think that's the main thing. The main advice I would give anybody is that it's got to be you, and it's got to be something that you're enjoying. Because otherwise it just people can see through when you're forcing it. If you're constantly like, I don't want to do this. Okay, I'll try and come up with something clever. It's not good enough, but I'll post it anyway. It just feels like, I feel like people kind of see through that. And so you got to find the fun in it. And if you find the fun in it, then even if it doesn't get any likes, at least you had some fun making the content.
Or maybe you were just getting better at doing your editing, or better at creating a little comedy sketch or whatever.
Yeah, that's another thing is like when I first started YouTube, for me personally, I was used to a certain level of like editing style, but the fast pace of YouTube helped me kind of relax and experiment instead of it has to be perfect by the time it gets out there. It was more important to post. It was more important to, and when you post more frequently, there's two things that can happen. One, you can burn out. Or two, if you're having fun with it and trying to find new ways of playing with it, then your skills get better. You gain new skills that you didn't have before, and you find different ways of telling your story.
Oh, he makes social media sound like so much fun. But then
Alan, I
sometimes,
can't wait to see what you do from here on out. I'm
oh,
excited about the
I
future.
am going to be posting about my new cleanse teas that I'm drinking, as
Do
well
it.
as well as a new foam roller that just gave me a little bit of money to promote on my Instagram account.
Those are TikToks right there. Just do it.
Oh, I'm going to get into TikTok later because I don't get it yet. And I know, Chris, you can help us with this. But actually, Justin, he made the same point that you've made to me before, which is that maybe I care, like I'm too precious with the content that I'm putting up. And I care so much about how it goes in this way or that way, or how it might be read by this person or that person, that then I just get overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't even want to post it because I feel so concerned about how that post is going to be consumed.
You're overthinking it.
Yeah, maybe.
You made a really good point earlier, Alan, that there's so much content constantly being produced. Like it's going to happen and be over so fast that it doesn't need to be perfect every single time. It's not some masterpiece that someone's going to like hang on their wall, or, you know, it's something that exists for them in that moment. They might share it with somebody, but it's not a reflection of who you are completely as a person. It's just a little taste of Alan.
Just a little,
People love their little taste of Alan.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to go there. I knew it. I've been working with you for years now.
Your Asian fans, they want to taste more of you, and I think you should allow them to taste.
And
why
we're going to cut
why
it
not
on
allow
this. We're going to snip.
No, why would we? I also, this is why I'm also recording, so that you don't have full control over the edit, so I can actually, because Alan's going to edit this this podcast, Chris.
Yeah, it's the first one.
First one. I can't wait to see what happens.
Doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean,
just doesn't have to be perfect.
I mean, throw it up, whatever. But if you do cut this out, I'm going to save this bit, and we're going to put that up. I'll put that up on my own account.
Hey, I won't cut anything out that you want to be left in. No, okay. So another thing about YouTube and social media specifically, and I think it's a concern that a lot of people, particularly parents, Chris, are talking about, and it's privacy online, and also having your children be represented online. Yep. And I know so for example, my sister-in-law and my brother were honestly thinking a lot about how they wanted to handle the idea of their new son, he's 2 years old, having pictures online. And Justin, I know you have a niece that's also quite young.
Yeah, 2.5.
And they were pretty protective, but Chris, you went the different direction. Like you said, you know what, we're going to put the family online.
Well, there's certain elements that aren't online. You know, like the certain, like, I don't know, if a kid is hurt or needs a consequence for something that they did, or if they're rude, or because they're kids, they're learning how to be people. We don't post that stuff. We put if that happens while we're filming, we put the camera down and we deal with it. And I think the danger comes when you don't put your kids first, you put the content first. So that is a concern that can happen. And then in terms of like privacy and stuff, well, there's a couple things to it. One, my sister, who's Chris Ballinger, she plays a character called Miranda Sings. Right. She was vlogging before I started vlogging, and my kids were part of her content. And so we were already out there by the time I started doing our daily vlogs. And so it was kind of like, oh, we already exist online. And I've always said that if my kids ever expressed any concern or any sort of like, I don't want this on there, I will delete posts. I will stop vlogging them. I will do any of those things. None of that's happened yet. Like my kids have not said anything about that. And we ask and check in with them all the time. How are you feeling about this? How you feel about this thing? And also as a result of what we've done, we've gotten so many great opportunities. Like I've gotten to travel the world with my kids, which I never thought was going to be possible, to like go spend a month in Europe, or go move to Canada for a while, or with 4 kids. Like that was, I have 5 now, but we're not.
Yeah, I was going to say,
we're not traveling now.
He's got a brand new one.
Yeah, he's 9 months and he's awesome. But yeah, we've gotten all these cool opportunities as a family And I get to be at home with my kids all the time. When I stopped working at the magic shop, I got offers from 3 different magic companies that wanted to bring me on and put me in charge of like a team and like do all this stuff, that all these cool opportunities. And I realized that I really wanted to spend more time with my kids, and that would take me even more away. So I really honed in on how I could function and support my family with my family, as opposed to doing it here and then going home. And it's this beautiful like melding. And it really worked out for us. So I don't know. I really respect parents that decide that they want their kids to not be online. I have no judgment to that whatsoever. I just think we're a family. Jessica, as you know, Jessica, my wife, went to college with Alan as well. We're both theater majors. Our kids are totally into theater now. They love making videos. They love going on stage. So we've got a family of performers.
That's awesome.
And so if any of them were like super shy, or I got like a weird feeling from them that they didn't like what we were doing, yeah, I would go silent.
How do you feel about the amount of social media that they themselves are consuming?
Oh, good point.
Like, is that a big issue?
My kids don't at this point consume.
Wow. How old are your kids?
Anything. My oldest is 12.
Okay.
I've got a 12, 10, 7, 3, and 9-month-old.
Oh, nice.
And yes, he's 0 years. Alan.
0 years. That
was good.
Months.
Yes. So they don't really do social media on their own. And again, we're the kind of family that does everything together. So the shows they watch, there's a few channels, YouTube channels that they do watch. TikTok, we don't let them see unless we've vetted the what it is. There's just a lot of words they don't know that pop up on TikTok. It's a very unfiltered app. And we try and be a safe spot for families as well. So all of our content is meant to be watched as a family.
Yeah.
You know, I would love someone my age to feel comfortable showing their kid our stuff, and our kid and their kid comfortable showing them. And we get both of those. And that's always the best comment. It's like, I showed my dad this, he loved it. Or, you know, bringing families together. It's like, it's a cool thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, but your kids are, I guess at 12, you're almost at that point, 13, 14, 15, where it's going to start to become an issue, I guess, with them socially, with other children or kids that they're meeting at school and stuff as well.
So our plan is to stay super involved.
Yeah.
But and my wife and I have always said this, we don't feel like we can give parenting advice in a chapter of parenting we haven't experienced. So we haven't gotten there yet. We don't know how we're going to navigate that fully. It's going to be a journey for us as well. And it will be a little different for our kids than for other kids in terms of like, they have been online for a long time, which can be a plus and a minus. It can be good for them in terms of like, you know, understanding the platforms themselves and understanding how people work on them and what dangers are out there, but it can also make them a target, you know? So it's a balancing act, and we would like to be involved and helpful in that for them. So
actually, that's an interesting point. How do they deal with the attention they get? Because they're also very outward facing members of this YouTube channel. And by the way, Justin, his kids are adorable and
I've
so
watched
precocious.
A couple episodes. Oh, you guys are great.
It's a family of entertainers. It's
so
a family
well
of
done.
entertainers.
Yeah.
Thank you. But what kind of attention do they get? Like, I'm sure there are kids who are fans of them. There are probably even parents who are fans of your kids as well.
Yeah, it's always been positive so far. Again, with my sister Colleen, she does these live shows as Miranda sings and herself, and any chance that she gets to bring us with her, she takes it. So like we performed in New York with her, like East Coast, in Canada with her, a lot of stuff here, like closer to Southern California as well. And there's a meet and greet element to that. So my kids are used to people coming up, talking to us, taking a picture with us, and interacting with them, being polite and all of that stuff. which I think is actually like a super important, useful tool when you become an adult, to be able to handle meeting new people and presenting yourself confidently and kindly. And we get a lot of compliments on how they behave when they meet new people, because they've had a whole bunch of experience with it. And so when we see people out, like going to the mall, or obviously not now, we're not going to the mall, but when we did, occasionally, we're not like super famous. Like there'd be like one person that would recognize us and come up and say hi. And
oh, I want that so bad, Justin. I want one person, just one person.
It's a good level, you know. It's like you feel appreciated, but you're not bombarded. It's pretty awesome.
We get that in Asia. I mean,
we do.
To be honest, I've been recognized more on a regular basis more in LA than I do in Singapore.
How is that possible?
Because Singaporeans don't have a celebrity culture really, and I think even if they do see you, they don't care, or they're too nervous to talk to you. Whereas in LA, people are like, "Hey, aren't you the blah blah blah? I've seen you on the."
So, but they handle it well, and I think a lot of it's that sort of experience that they had doing meet and greets.
Yeah, they're probably really advanced socially, I imagine, because of that. So.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I like to think that they're good. They're very polite and very. They listen and they can carry a conversation with an adult, no problem.
That's what I noticed. Actually, his oldest two are like talking to just little adults. The way they joke with you, they banter, and it's actually pretty high level. So the kids are well adjusted. It doesn't seem to be a bad thing to be so public and awesome online. I should try it, Justin.
Well, and we also try and keep them humble. So that's another thing that's super important to us, is to not let it get to their head and let them think that they're more important than anyone else. So that's another element of it that we really try and instill in our kids.
So
and I try and instill in Alan whenever I talk to him as well.
Please do. His ego, it's a problem.
So I'm soaking it up, guys. Okay, so they don't consume social media content much on their own, but when they do, are there certain ones that you want them to be consuming and certain ones you don't? Because you mentioned that TikTok is not the most filtered platform, and I don't even have TikTok. So guys, what is TikTok for anyone out there listening who doesn't know?
TikTok, it's like short clips. It's like 15 seconds to a minute, and a lot of it is recycled material. So it's like someone will put up a sound, and then everyone will use that sound and do lip syncing or make a sketch out of it or some sort of reaction to it. And so it's just a different way of, it's just a different way of sort of interacting and creating content. And it's sort of Wild West right now. It's the new platform. So people are rising up in it very quickly. Oh, it's our biggest platform now. It wasn't.
Is it
before.
really?
Yeah, we passed 2 million on it. So it's has the opportunity for you. It feels like old YouTube, where people are being creative, doing stuff that it's not super mainstream yet. YouTube has become more mainstream, more like talk show hosts have their thing and celebrities have their thing that got famous outside of the YouTube realm. And TikTok feels a little bit more like people are still trying to figure it out and come up with creative stuff and stand out in a unique way. So that's kind of my take on TikTok right now.
Justin, you have TikTok, right?
I do. I mean, I have not posted anything, to be honest, really. I've gone and I'll watch different comedians do stand-up in like little minute bites in some of their sketches. That's kind of what I'm using it for. I mean, it's some of the stuff that pops up on there. It's mostly just girls dancing around. I feel is the majority of it, which great if you're of age. But I mean, some of it's pretty scandalous and pretty sketchy. I think I do like a lot of the sports content that is on there, and the stand-up comedy content I think is great. As far as what the youth is doing on there, some of it's good. Some of the little small sketches where people are kind of talking to themselves, those types of sketch comedies where they're playing two different characters. Some of those guys up there are brilliant. I'm not sure how I feel about a lot of the lip syncing stuff. Like when you're That girl
It's
that
its
got
own
really
culture. It's its own like strange
yeah,
new world.
it's strange. The
That
girl that
lady,
got famous
you
for
showed me
lip
that
syncing
girl.
to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What's her name? That girl.
I
I mean,
can't know.
I don't know I can't remember her name. She seems like a lovely person. I'm sure she's a talented actress, but she's gotten famous for, I'm not sure, I don't know. But she got famous for just lip syncing to Donald Trump.
Yep.
And I'm watching, I'm like, I don't really get the appeal. I don't like do you understand that?
It's sort of like
yeah.
it's sort of you I don't know. Some of it I don't get. Some of it I watch and I go like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And because I'm in this industry, I really try to. Like I really go like, okay, so what about this? What are people seeing in this? And there are a lot of times where I surprise myself and I'm like, okay, yeah, no, now I kind of get it. And then it's like an inside joke. Then you go back and watch the same type of content that you didn't get before, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I'll keep watching it. I'll hit the like button on that one. So I don't know. I don't know how to really describe it, but it is its own like culture. My family goes to different conventions like VidCon and Playlist, and there's these social media conventions. And it's funny because you see these different apps come out, and then all of a sudden there's this new like grouping of social influencers that show up that you had never seen before. They are new people, and they're usually from that new app, whatever that
New
is.
platform.
And the last 2 years have definitely been TikTok. TikTok's blown up, and and the last time I went to one of these conventions, we've been on TikTok since it was Musical.ly, and we got verified through Musical.ly, and we had almost reached 1 million followers when it was Musical.ly, and then we stopped using it, and the whole culture shifted. It was completely different. So we went to this convention, we saw all these people doing TikTok, and they would just set up the phone and go like, together in unison, and then they'd laugh, and that would be it. Like that, they were done. They had made their content. That's 3 million views right there. There it is. And I was like, what is that? Like, how is this happening? What is going on here? What is the appeal? And I really had to like immerse myself in it in order to like understand it. And now we've started making TikToks really regularly and experimenting with it. That's the other thing. For us, it's not just like, we don't just do the dances. We do dances, lip syncing. When we see something that's kind of funny that we can put our own little spin on. And I think that's part of it too, is like, you get used to a certain soundbite and you want to see what other people have done with it. What personal spin they've put on it. So I don't know. I don't have a real solid answer for you on like what the appeal is, but it is fun once you start figuring out how to make it your own.
I think it's just so simple and fast, and it's easy to digest.
Yes.
And you can consume a lot of it in a short period of time.
Also, it's easy to produce content. It sounds like because they give you specific things like a song or a filter that other people have done stuff with, it kind of gives you a creative inspiration, right? And
it's a jumping off
easier
point. Sure.
Yeah.
And it can be as complicated or as simple as you want. Like you could set up you could lean your phone up against a soda can and do something, or I've taken it into Premiere and done some really time-consuming editing. And it's funny when the soda can prop up does better than the really long editing. You kind of learn something there, but
I'm the worst, but I had no idea that TikTok used to be Musical.ly. I remember Musical.ly being a thing, but what is the difference then between what Musical.ly used to be and what TikTok is now? Is it just how they're using the platform?
Yeah, it's what they're doing with the platform. It's a lot of the same, but the focus has sort of shifted, I would say. Musical.ly was mainly just lip syncing, and you would find a sound, or you would make a sound if you're good at that, or you would find a sound that you thought was funny or entertaining, and you would just make a thing based on that sound. And now I feel like there's like tutorials on how to do things. There's advice. They're starting to get politics, which I don't know how I feel about. And then there's like sketch comedy and all sorts of stuff. Like there's tons of stuff on there now. Gadgets, like showing off weird, cool gadgets. We started doing those as well, and those are really fun. Yeah, there's just a lot of opportunity there to make it your own.
Interesting.
For me, I'm quite active with Instagram and Facebook and editing things all the time, films, whatever. And I'm just like, I see something like TikTok and I recognize the opportunity, but I'm like, oh my gosh, it's one more freaking thing. I can't, like, I get an anxiety attack, which I never get from thinking about either doing TikTok or just not doing TikTok. I get an anxiety attack either way. And I'm like, I can't. How do you, what is your time management skills like? Like,
Yeah, good question.
Like, how do you do this? You have a family.
They're terrible. My time management skills are terrible. Luckily, my business partner is also my wife, and she's amazing.
She's awesome.
Jessica is on it with she homeschools our 5 kids, and runs our business and does a lot of the analytic stuff for our things. And I just do the fun stuff like build guitars and like make videos. Like, that's not totally true. I help homeschooling kids. I do other things as well. I do a lot of cooking, but it's stuff that, you know, we work really well as a team. And so, but I did have the same reaction that you had. My wife was like, okay, we've got to start making TikToks. We got to try it. We got to see how it is. And I'm like, I'm running 2 YouTube channels. I've got an Instagram. I've got Twitter. I have no time to do my Snapchats anymore. I'm listing all the things.
I forgot about Snapchat. I forgot Snapchat was a thing. It's
still a thing. Isn't that fascinating? But yeah, I don't. It's not a thing for me that often. It's sort of like secret bonus content for anyone that follows me on Snapchat. But yeah, I had the exact same reaction. And she was like, no, we're gonna make it a goal, and we'll do like 3 a day for a while. And just I give this advice to anybody who asks anything about like starting a YouTube channel or starting something. You're gonna regret the time that you didn't do it. You'll regret the time that you wasted worrying about doing it. You won't regret the time you put into doing it. Because even if you put in some time and it doesn't work out, you've learned something, you've done something, you've accomplished something. And for me, I wish I had started my family YouTube channel 10 years before I did. You know, I'm sad that I don't have birth vlogs of my daughter and my first 2 sons. And I had talked with my wife about starting the YouTube channel for a long, long time, and we just never did it. I never thought it was good enough. I didn't think anyone would watch it. I had all the same anxieties as everyone else. But if you start it today. Like, just do it today. Make one. And you won't regret having made it. You will regret all that time that you wasted worrying about it.
Alan, we're making TikToks today.
I'm feeling inspired. No, I'm not ready for TikTok yet, but I'm going to post on Instagram today. I'm going to put a post up. I'm going to post on Instagram. I'm just going to do it.
I'll like it. I'm going to find it.
Oh my gosh. I already have 2 likes.
I'm going to comment on it.
I have a comment already.
Oh man, you're raising me a comment?
Yeah.
You see my like and raise a comment?
Ooh, I like it. I'm
the
playing the Texas Hold'em of social media.
If it inspires me to comment, I will comment.
Oh, okay. Well, that's my goal now, is to try to get a Christopher Ballinger comment.
I just pressured you now. Now you're feeling insecure.
I'm starting to sweat here, guys. I'm not sure if it's the lighter.
Is it going to be a picture of you and your girlfriend, Alan?
I haven't been able to see my girlfriend in a long time, so I don't have any new pictures of my girlfriend. She's in Singapore. One more thing I want to ask both of you guys about, because I think it's super interesting. So we have all of these social media platforms, right? And it's interesting, they're all kind of focused at very specific types of content. And like Twitter, for example, is a very different type of content platform than, say, TikTok. You guys both do a lot of social media, and the types of content, there's such a wide range of types of content. What are your and our pet peeves with types of content that are produced online? Without trying to step on anyone's toes, and we don't want to be too negative, but there's definitely stuff, for example, I'll start then, that kind of gets to me when I see, like Chris said before, insincere content, an insincere post where someone's delivering something and you just don't believe what they're saying. You know, that right there makes it not consumable for me.
Yeah, I don't know that I have a specific pet peeve. Yeah, I'd have to think about that one.
Justin?
I got one.
Justin has
Yeah,
something.
I knew Justin had a bun.
I'm gonna stomp on toes. Those
Toe stomper.
the damn quotes. I don't.
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
because I don't mind if it's a quote from somebody. If it's a really good quote and it's a person that you can tell means it. Again, back to the sincerity aspect of this, and it's from somebody that's actually accomplished something. Like you've got these like girls posting pictures of themselves in bikinis, and then the quote underneath is, you know, about how to live your life to the fullest and blah, 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 and the stars and the moons and the mountains have aligned. Like what? And they're giving like this life advice. It's like, what have you done? Who are you to give this advice? It's
okay. I'm gonna have to delete some posts right now.
Chris, delete your bikini post.
Me in a bikini. I thought it would be really good with the quote
from Einstein.
But
I think this is a great idea for a new post for all of us. It's in bikinis, a really sensationalist quote. But yeah, and a lot of our friends, Alan, do this. And
I know, which is why
they will watch this and they will go, Justin is talking about me right now.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I fucking am. Stop doing that. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, again, it has to do with the type of people that are consuming the content. And I guess a lot of people either don't recognize the insincerity in it or they don't care.
Yeah. I think I've thought of two now.
Yes, that's what I want to hear, Chris. Justin, you did it. You did it, Justin.
I had to massage it out of him.
It's all kind of related. It's all kind of related to that insincere nature of posting online that comes out in people. And I think one is setting examples that are too high to actually like reach. Like the person themselves posting it, I haven't actually reached it. And that even goes into like, oh, I look horrible today, but I'm letting my wrinkles show or whatever. And it's this like flawless picture.
Yes.
It's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? What do you mean? How, compared to you, now I just feel terrible.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then I'm on the sort of, I don't want to say the business side of YouTube, but it is like how I make a living. It is like, there is a business element to it. And I see these people post how-to videos on how to succeed either on TikTok or YouTube, or like they have the secret to how to get views, how to become successful, how to make millions of dollars on these platforms. And I've gone to lots of conventions where these guys were speaking and it's just snake oil. It's not real.
Really?
Like they're not. They might have figured out a little glitch in the algorithm, but they've only figured it out until that gets fixed, because it will get fixed. It will get adjusted. And they end up selling tickets to these big conferences. They end up, but then you go to their YouTube channel and it's like a very tiny, their personal YouTube channel is so tiny. Why aren't they using these
what they know
methods? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, right. So to me, I kind of have a hard time with that, just saying that you're an expert in something that I don't think anyone's an expert in social media. I know I'm not. It's just I'm playing with it and figuring it out and having fun with it, and doing it while I can, because I know at some point it's going to change. Something's going to change and the rug will get pulled out from under me. It's just like any other job. I've been laid off before. It's, I don't know. I have a hard time with people going like, this is the secret. No one's telling you. I know the way to do it. Pay me lots of money to come to my convention. And that bothers me a lot.
The life coaches.
The
life coach influencer.
Yes.
And then
so I guess that would be a pet peeve for me.
Yeah.
To branch off of that, all of these people, and I'm sure you guys are getting it in your DMs on Instagram, all of these random people saying either that they can offer you hundreds and hundreds of followers or likes or comments right then and there, or wanting to promote stuff on your page. And I don't know why, but it feels like it's exponentially growing. like random fake, maybe fake accounts. I don't even know if they're fake, but
well, even
they're
if it's
highly
real,
suspicious.
even if it's real and they can get you thousands of followers, don't do it. Because when you do end up going into advertising, and advertising is how you make money on these platforms, and you go to work with a company, most of the time in the contract it asks, have you ever bought followers, or have you ever done this? People don't realize that, until they get that contract in front of them. It becomes a huge issue to try and get the easy followers, and it's such a hollow thing. I love our audience. I love the fact that I talk with them. I engage with them on Twitter, on Twitch, in the comment section of the YouTube videos. I know who they are, and they'll stick up for me. And it's a relationship that's far more valuable, not even monetarily, more valuable than the number of followers you have.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I even got pressured into doing that once, several years back, 4 years back, because there was a time when it was before really the marketing and advertising companies had really latched onto that was a thing. And so you had a bunch of people doing it in Singapore, the social media scene. Everybody was doing it, really, at one point, it seemed.
Yep.
And it got to the point to where you couldn't, like, get MC gigs, just a simple MC gig for like a few hours in the day without having these certain numbers. And everybody's doing it. And I had producers send me links so that I could pad my numbers so that they could hire me, because they're like, we know you're the most talented person, but the client isn't going to let us hire you because we need you to do this. So
that's wild.
Here's the link. Go pay for this. Get these numbers. So it was one of those where you have a guy, they're like, I guess they're real followers. So it was like a like and then unlike type of scenario that I had gotten beaten into doing for a bit. And so, I did that for a 2 or 3 months, several years back, just so that I could get paid, just so that I could work.
Yeah.
It was,
I've never heard of that. That's nuts. I can't believe that.
Oh no, that's how bad it was in Singapore and Southeast Asia. So the social media thing in Southeast Asia, when it comes to valuing the numbers over the talent, it's pretty ugly out there.
I think it might be that the market of the social media influencer, right, and the market of being able to advertise online, it may have started a little bit after in Southeast Asia than it did in Los Angeles. Like, it might have been slightly behind. So the marketing industry might have been a little bit later to start realizing how inflated these numbers are.
Yeah.
But Justin's right. Like, it became really hard to get work that wasn't social media work, just because we're competing with inflated numbers.
And I regret doing it. I felt bad. I was never wanted to be the person that did that, but I had to pay rent back then, and so I look back and I'm like, shoot, man, had I not, like, I got paid because I did it. I made money off of that.
It's such a different reasoning for it than it wasn't to look famous. It was just to get a live gig. That's something that I've never even,
just so I could put food on the table in between shows that I was going to do, because you have these droughts between shows out there. And what a lot of the actors and TV hosts do in between their gigs, their big gigs, to keep the consistent income, is they MC live events. And I felt like I was put in a corner where I had no choice.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. A lot of producers and managers and management companies steered a lot of people in the wrong direction. We dropped our management, our multi-channel manager, MCN, multi-channel network. We dropped them really early on. Everyone was trying to get represented and become part of these groups, because that's how you got advertising gigs. And we dropped ours, and instantly we were making more money and being more free to do different things once we did that. And now the MCN is like not even something that a lot of people do anymore.
Wow, it's just people maximizing on when the industry first started making money, right? And then people who weren't talents or creators decided that they had a way to be able to, monetize it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad
gatekeepers.
Yeah. I'm glad it sounds like things are changing. It has to, because social media is not going anywhere. This is this is for real, and these are the channels that are being consumed the most these days.
It's not going anywhere, but it is shifting and changing. So like I said, TikTok, for example, the way they do like a branded integration is completely different than how it would work on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter. Like,
I've been wondering, what is the brand integration in TikTok? Like how do they do campaigns? It doesn't seem like
the actual company is involved. It's very different. With YouTube, it's just sort of like a side thing, and you click a box saying like, this is paid, and I can't make money off of the ads on this, so like, because I'm doing it a different way. TikTok does it. They have a lot more control over it. So it's a little more, they come through the actual app, which I've never seen before. So it's neat. It's kind of neat seeing like a different strategy on it, a different take on it. And I don't know. I like seeing people try something new and seeing how it works. But another app's going to come up and we'll have to learn that. And you know what I mean? It's, that's why I say have fun with it. Because if you don't have fun with it, it's just so overwhelming.
Yeah, definitely.
What do we think the next app is going to be like? I'm curious. I could never have seen the ones that came up, but like, is it going to be?
I think it's going to be something where you lick your phone and you can actually get a taste of Alan. I think.
No, that's
100%.
in pre-production right now.
I'm
already.
Okay.
Because that's what the fans want, Alan. Just
according to Justin, yes, it is. Guys, this has been super fun. Chris, thank you so much, man, for jumping on here with us.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
this
great.
is cool.
You have me inspired to be better with my social media. Definitely.
Oh, excellent. That's the only reason I did this. It's just to inspire Alan.
At least that came from this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to any of you guys out there who are still listening, thanks so much, guys. We appreciate it tuning into Are We Podcasting Yet? Justin, it's good to see you too, man.
Yeah, you too. Chris, thanks a lot. Appreciate having you on. And hey, Alan.
What's that?
Are we podcasting yet?
Chris? I don't know.
I don't know. Is this a podcast? Is it happening?
We don't know.
We just all do this.